Dr. John, a pleasure as always. How are you this morning, sir?
Robert, Erin, I'm doing fantastic today.
Dr. John, I'm watching bits and pieces of the Democrat convention last night, and I saw the Elizabeth Warren speech, Senator Elizabeth Warren from Massachusetts. And the line in her speech that just kind of hit me between the eyes is America's not going broke. America, she says, is not going broke. Dr. John, we're nearly $20 trillion in debt. Admittedly, this is a slanted question, but what alternate universe does Elizabeth Warren live in?
Well, I'm glad she said that, because that is the essential difference in the worldview of liberals like her, really the Democrat Party, which is quickly becoming the Socialist Party of America, and conservatives and really average Americans, is the only way that we can continue to spend the way she wants to spend, like free college and all this kind of stuff that is impossible to do, continuing the many different welfare programs that are unsustainable, and, of course, government-run health care. The only way you could ever say that makes any sense is to say that we can continue to borrow into the future for many generations and never have to pay it back. And we all know that's crazy. We'll eventually collapse as a civilization if we keep doing that.
Let me ask you another obviously slanted question. The First Lady, Michelle Obama, speaking last evening, talks about the first day when she and her husband are in the White House and she sees her daughters being taken to school, as she described it, by large men with guns. And I was thinking, interesting that she, at some level, is thankful for her daughters being protected by large men with guns, and yet the one thing that they want to do is take away your guns, my guns, Erin's guns, our ability to protect our children, which is something that this government has proven itself incapable of doing.
Well, precisely. The elitists in Washington believe that you should not have your own self-protection, but they would never be out in public without their own guards with big guns, fences. I mean, in fact, President Obama is about to increase the size of the fence around the White House. I think it's going to go up to 10 feet or something like that. Of course, there are armed guards, there are sharpshooters, snipers, every sort of protection you can think of. And you both better believe Nancy Pelosi and others who are in power, and certainly Hillary Clinton, all have guards around them 24/7, and yet they don't want you to have a gun in your own home to protect you.
4 miles of fence around the convention center in Philadelphia, around the Democratic Convention Hall. 4 miles of fence. This from a party that says fences, walls, they just don't work. That's not who we are.
Yeah. Well, of course, hypocrisy has never been a strong point for Democrats. They always, in fact, Hillary said it herself, but thinking in a different way. She said the other day there's a standard for Hillary and there's a standard for everybody else. She's absolutely right about that. Hillary can do whatever she wants and get whatever she wants, and everybody else has to live by a different set of rules.
Let's turn to the Senate race a minute. 24 candidates, including David Duke. Does that tick you off a little that he would do this?
Well, what it does is it's going to create a media circus around this, and it's just too important to have David Duke suck up the oxygen, spew his racist and anti-Semitic thoughts. It's sad that we're going to have to deal with that and somehow communicate with my voters to somehow get around all of that nonsense that's going to come out. And I would we don't have many Jewish people in Louisiana, maybe some around New Orleans. But we have a lot of pro-Israel people because as evangelical Christians, we're very supportive of Israel, particularly considering what President Obama has done over the years. Well, we have a man here in David Duke who's anti-Semite, anti-Israel, And then also one of my opponents, Congressman Bustani, has a terrible record on Israel. Support of Israel is going to be an issue in this, and I'm sure David Duke is going to have things he has to say about that.
How do you distance yourself from such a large field? That's going to be tricky. They're saying the two folks in the runoff may have like 23% of the vote.
Yeah, you really have to emphasize your strong points, and that's what we're doing. Defining myself as important here, and it's easy to do. I have by far the most conservative voting record of anyone in the race or anyone in the Louisiana delegation. I have the most, by far, conservative and pro-business endorsements. Among the top two in cash on hand, we have the best grassroots team spread across the state. So we are getting the message out that I'm a military veteran, which is rare these days, and I'm a small business owner who knows how to create jobs. I've created 500 jobs over the decades. No one else in this race has done that. And so that makes me unique. But finally, the thing that's most important is I'm an outsider. I co-founded the House Freedom Caucus that finally got rid of Speaker Boehner. We're going to get rid of some more people before it's over with that are just not taking this nation in the right direction. And I did something that's very unique. 2 weeks ago, I went to the House floor and launched a special resolution, a privileged resolution, to begin impeachment of John Koskinen, the IRS commissioner, who really provided cover for Lois Lerner in targeting conservatives using the tax system. So there's a lot of unique things we have to take to the table that no one else in this race have. It's just a simple matter of getting that word out. And finally, I would say that I am the only Republican from North Louisiana who's in this race of 24 people. Think about that. We do not have a statewide official who's elected from the North, and that's something we all need to think about when it comes to having a seat at the table.